In this video, I am going to teach you how to create shading with graphite pencils. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that just got here for the first time, my name is Julieta. I am an international portrait artist. And in today's video, I'm excited to show you the techniques that I use in order to create the shading in a portrait made with graphite pencils. I only use two varieties. I use 4H and 6H, I believe. And there might be another one just to make it a little darker. But I'm going to make it very simple for you. I'm going to keep the amount of materials limited because the important thing here is to show you the technique that you need to use in order to achieve these results. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, we will begin by doing the tracing of the face. And in this case, I already did the outline of her face using the exact techniques that I use in the tutorial, in the free tutorial that you're going to find on my website. As I said before, just check the link that you're going to have right here and grab the free tutorial. And I will explain to you extensively the steps you need to follow in order to create a face freehand, because I did not do any tracing here. I did not use any transfer paper. This is just done free-handed. So you will also learn how to do this by checking out my free tutorial. Here I'm showing you guys, I am using these pencils that are completely graphite, 6B and 4B. And they're very sharpened. And the other one that I'm also going to use that I just show you right there is a mechanical pencil, and that is a Tortillion, and also the Monozero Eraser, and also a dry brush. And now we will begin. All of these items that I'm going to use, I'm going to put them in the description box. Now we're going to begin with the 6B graphite pencil. And what I'm explaining right now is the reason why I was pointing that way was because the source of light is going to come from, let's say, like the northwest, if you will, of the paper. Now we're going to begin by adding some value to her eyes. And I'm pointing that way as well because that's where the light is going to come from. And the importance of that is knowing where the reflection of her eyes are going to be. And we're going to start darkening her eyelids, the folds that the eyelids make. And we're going to start also working on the details of the different features. The shading is basically determined by the face features and the areas where you're going to have texture, you're going to have higher grounds, lower grounds. And now we're going to start shading the areas of the upper eyelid and the lower eyelid. And one thing I want to say is that when you look at a face, the darker values are going to be in the areas that are the furthest from the light source, that have more of a depth. They're not right on the surface. Instead, they're deeper. In this case, we're working around the eye socket, which is an area that if you look at a skull, there are holes. There is no surface. So the eyeball is somewhere there in the middle, but you do get all this dark because we're still covering the area of the hole where the eye socket is. And also by working on the shadow values, that will also tell you, like your brain is going to know how the different textures of the face are. Always guiding yourself through the reference picture. As you can see, if we are able to do this, there's really no need to do any thick lines or solid lines. You will be able to achieve a 3D look on a portrait without really doing any harsh lines. This is all shading. And we're working on her nose. And you're going to see that as we keep going to the peak of her cheekbones, it's not going to be very dark. But in this area that I'm working right now, that is an area that kind of goes inward. It's the area that we usually, like in makeup, you know, that's where you contour and you make it darker because that's the natural color or value that that would get. Because it's the area that starts going down after the peak of the cheekbone. And you start very, very lightly, and you keep adding more layers of dark as you need. Now we're going to go to the areas of the little depths and little textures that the lips make, that the mouth makes. It's truly fascinating to see all the little complex areas that a face really has. And here we're just going to start with a uniform type of value, and then we will go back in and do further detail. And then we keep going down towards her chin. I think it's also important to pay attention to the direction of the lines of the shading that you are working on. Now, in this case, we're going to start using our dry brush. And it's a really nice tool to smooth out surfaces if you choose to do so. Because the longer you choose to work on the lines for the texture, the smoother finish is going to have. And it's a pretty cool look that it has, you know, without all the smoothness that a brush would give it, or a Q-tip or a Tortillion. But in this case, just for our purposes and to show you how it looks, I decided to use this dry brush. And it's a really nice finish that it gives to it. You can see how it almost automatically it achieves a 3D effect. Much smoother thing. Much smoother shapes. Now we're going to go in with the Monozero Eraser. And that is just to apply a little bit of highlight on the highest part of her cheekbone. And then we're going to go back in, and since we have a very basic first layer laid down, we are going to, little by little, well, there I'm still working on the dry brush, working on her nose, smoothing out all the surfaces, all the areas where we applied some of the 6B graphite paper, pencil. As you can see, her forehead is like more than 50% of her forehead is untouched and is white. That's because I was explaining that the light source is coming from the upper left corner of the composition. And now we are working on her lips, darkening the value of her lips. And we go back with the Monozero Eraser to work on the details and the little wrinkles or lines that lips have. And you can just keep working on it as you need. So these tools are actually very, very important for this type of process. I know at the beginning I said that as far as pencils are concerned, we are only using graphite pencils. I didn't use any charcoal pencils. This is all we're using. And then these extra tools that are very, very affordable, and they're also some of the items that you have at your house. They are excellent for achieving this type of look. So I keep pointing towards the light source so you see why I am applying the Mono Eraser on these different areas, because those are the areas from the face, going from up to down, that are closer to the light. And now we're going to go to our mechanical pencil and start working on some finer details. And make sure to check out the following video, guys, because then I'm going to explain you the final pieces of this composition. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And once again, please write any comments or any questions that you may have down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if there's anything else you're interested in learning about the techniques, or any remarks, or whatever you want to share with me, or anything else that comes up to mind. And don't forget to subscribe if you feel led to, for more videos like this and with the other materials that I use. And do not forget to check out my website. Here's the link for you to go right in and get my free tutorial on how to draw a realistic looking portrait. And it's pretty extensive, so you're going to get all the tips that you need. And I'm so happy you joined me today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.